Could you briefly say who you are, what your company does, and what do you sell?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Abdullah. I'm the group head of marketing at Nomupay. Nomupay is a global acquirer. So we process payments for other businesses. This includes accepting payments, but also doing payouts. And we are based across UK, Europe, Southeast Asia, and the UAE.
What were you trying to solve or achieve before working with us?
Yeah, so one of the big pain points that we had was that we could generate leads through the business and through the website. However, it wasn't the right type of businesses that we're looking for. As the business grew, we wanted to target more enterprise level clientele, but also across more niche industries. So that was a big problem that we were trying to solve within the business.
How did our service support you, and what impact have you seen so far?
Yeah, so I think the biggest way you and the team have supported us is, number one, with data. So we really struggled being able to target and find the right types of businesses. You know, we've used platforms like ZoomInfo, SimilarWeb, Cognizant in the past, but it was still too generalized for the types of businesses that we were looking at. So, you know, once actually working with you guys, the first thing you could do is actually get that batch group of data, but actually really filter it down and be more granular. So the accuracy of the data improved massively. I think the other pain point that we had was in terms of deliverability and actually setting up the sequences and the systems we needed to do that. You know, looking at tools like Apollo or trying to do it just through Salesforce, we just didn't have the scalability at all. You know, and it was hard for us to actually get the sales guys to go in there and do that. So you took a lot of that time, effort, and technical aspects away from us, and it was just easy to sort of set up and go through. One of the big things is we have used in the past other outreach agencies to try and help us with our sort of needs and requirements. However, I think some of the main pain points that we found is, one, from a data aspect, they really couldn't find and source the right data that we needed. I think secondly, from a content perspective and actually writing the emails and the sequences, the language that they used just wasn't correct. They didn't take the time to understand our market and our ICP. Whereas I think with yourselves, you really put the effort in to understand our ICP, ask us the right questions, iterate, and you're happy to iterate on numerous occasions to get that messaging right, which I think then followed on for us to see a much higher response rate from the campaigns that we did. I think the other thing is the attentiveness. You know, we worked with some bigger agencies where it was just set it and forget it. It was all done through a platform. You didn't really get much sort of airtime with your account manager, or if you did speak to an account manager, it wasn't really the person that was actually involved in running the campaigns. Whereas I think obviously the difference with yourself and even working with Jade, very much hands-on. We're in the Slack channels, it's back and forth communication on a daily basis, so we can tweak and change things on the go rather than waiting 2 weeks or the end of the month to make a simple change that could have had a big impact on the campaign. So I think, yeah, the level of input and how hands-on you are really made a big difference to the outcome of the campaigns.
We've been pretty consistent, right, with leads, for example. If you like to comment on that.
Yeah, another really big challenge we had is the consistency of leads. You know, in the past, where we've done campaigns and you'll get drip fed 1 or 2 leads a week, it doesn't really keep the pipeline full. I think, you know, as the time's gone on, we've worked with you guys, it's that consistency and lead flow, you know, building it from getting 2 to 3 leads a week, then to sort of 5 to 6 leads a week, to then up to 10, 12, so on and so forth. And being able to actually maintain that flow has been really important to building our pipeline throughout the business.
Okay, and the last question, very simple. Would you recommend working with us to others? Not obviously payment providers.
Yeah, no, but absolutely. I think for us, for me, it's a no-brainer. You know, you guys have been brilliant to work with. I think the quality of the work, you know, from every aspect, whether it's data, whether it's the content writing, the email sequencing, deliverability rates, the technical aspect, you know, compared to what we've worked with in the past, has been miles better. So yeah, I'd always recommend you guys for sure.